Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Happy Friday and welcome. I hope you all have had a glorious week. I missed you all on Wednesday. It felt very different not coming on to the live Wednesday morning. It was like, I really missed you. It felt really weird to not come on here. It's become a very big part of my week, and I love it so much. Hello, come on in, welcome. I am going to talk just a little bit about the energy update on what I channeled this morning, and then we're going to get into Q&A. I'm really enjoying the Friday mornings with giving you guys an opportunity to just ask questions, or just have a little chit chat. It's always a lot of fun to just chat and just kind of be and allow whatever needs to come in. Welcome and good morning. I had an incredible week. It was very busy with a lot of delicious spirit. I've done everything from private sessions, animal communication. I've did some lost pet. I had a lost pet case that was very successful, and I did a big group session last night, which was so much fun. So it was a week of variety, busy, busy. Yes, Kayla, but it was. I love variety in life, not just with work, but with all things. I love variety. I like to taste different things all the time. So the energy update. When I channeled this morning, I did come back to a little bit of what I talked about on Monday with a lot of trust things, as well with this new moon energy that came rolling in this week. How many of you, I'm just curious, have had knee-jerk reactions about things that have happened before in the past regarding trust? So what I mean by that is things that have popped back up with I trusted that once before and I landed on my face kind of things. The going back to what didn't feel right before, and feeling that knee jerk reaction to not trust again. I'm just curious because it came back up again in the meditation this morning, and it came up as a lot of learning experiences. With the learning and the learning and the learning keeps coming back up, and I really feel that we need to start working through a little bit of that, a little bit more with the healing, a little bit more with learning how to trust again. And rather that being with yourself or being in situations or being in the new learning, to be able to lean back in there and repair a lot of the trust wounds or the broken trust that we hold within ourselves. Spirit was really pushing me to be able to let go, to be able to, sometimes we don't understand, and sometimes we feel that we just can't trust enough or push past that. So, as we navigate through the weekend, as these things kind of pop into your awareness, come back into there's more learning to do. There's more learning to do. That's what she said. Charles received 10 more months on his sentence due to the corruption in jail. I had to tell everyone on Facebook that we broke up because my family already treat me like I'm a nutter. That's I'm a bit surprised with that one. When I lean into that though, was there that's what she said, was there an expected date though that he was to come home? Because I really felt that date was going to be held, and I felt them coming back. So was there a sudden turn in the energy there? Was there a sudden shift in that? I'm really curious to know that. I'm very clear. I don't hold all the answers. I can only give what spirit says. But I do feel like, leaning in there with the with the trust, that's what she said, with the trust in that, I think that, you've got to kind of turn it up. And sometimes there are things that we don't understand, and there are some things that we'll never understand. Yes, last Friday. And a real, yeah, I felt that very deep. Like I truly felt that there was like an expected coming home, like it was like booked and a done deal. That's how it felt to me at the time. And sometimes with these sudden changes, I mean, there's often no way of 100%, knowing that for sure, especially if it was a sudden change, the sudden shift in that energy. We are all holding you in love, and I want you to know that, continuing to build that trust. Don't let this harden you. Don't let this, I know it's disappointing, but I want you to lean into, for whatever reason, I've got to trust this process. And sometimes that's all we can do. So let's jump into the energy update. I also feel like let me just kind of shift into the weekend. I feel a little bit of tired energy, and I also feel a little bit of it. It's okay not to have everything done on your list this weekend. I really feel that a little bit of overwhelm, maybe pushing through. The week may have been chaotic, or there must be a lot of stuff going on for people over the weekend. Try and slow it down the best you can. Try and find that gear to shift down. And also wanting to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. It is Mother's Day weekend, and I hope that, right? I think, yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, I had to rethink that for a second. Enjoy that. Enjoy that energy, that space, honoring yourself, honoring the mother energy, and give yourself some time to rest. All right, let's jump into some questions. I'm sleeping like a log, but I also been putting a lot of trust into my spiritual team and God. Well done, you. Good morning, Lana. I would love insight from Spirit regarding how I can navigate the energy between my 16-year-old daughter and I. Definitely a challenge. Okay, so one thing, and I know you know this, and I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist or anything like that, but I have been spending a lot of time in energy with the youth, with the younger teens, and the older teens, and with that colliding energy, with that collision of energy, one thing that always kind of helps and it's that analogy of walking beside them and not necessarily behind or in front trying to push or pull. And I think when we navigate beside them, it kind of holds the space. And when I lean into your daughter here, I feel like I just got to hold the space. Allow, sometimes we have to allow them to learn while we're right there, we're being right there. But I also feel that I've got to kind of shift into a different understanding of the processes that they are going through, a different understanding with the allowing energy. But I also feel though that I've got to gently, and I feel this is a very gentle alignment of the boundaries. So I feel like I've got to really watch that mother friendship daughter mix. I feel like I've got to kind of put that into balance. And I feel like I've got to gently with the boundaries so that it doesn't feel like we're taking a piece of their own control away or their own power away. I feel like I've got to gently work through that. I also feel very, very I'm going to use the word normal or typical, but I feel that this is just very much that growth and that coming into my own space. I don't feel it off as anything other than the normal process of learning as a teenager. Today's teens are very, very unique. They are very, very different than the generation behind them. They are also very, very much connected and intuitive, but they're also very much learning. And that's one thing when I say to the teens that I work with was, how can I understand you better? And one of the things that they always come back at is just ask. If adults in our lives could just ask a few more questions without it coming across as that controlling energy. And when you think about it, I know me as a teenager, the last thing I wanted to be told was what to do. But so more of that choice with the boundary, right? A or B with the boundary. And I feel that when you navigate through that in a very loving, very soft, very supportive way, you're going to get through these years. I hope that resonates there with you. I'm going to scroll back up and grab some of the questions. Um, Alina, I'm wondering about my soul's age. And also, could you explain a bit how souls age? I imagine it's not linear like human time. It's definitely not linear like human time. You're absolutely right. So, one thing with the soul is I want to replace the word age with experience and knowledge and learning and growth. So our souls don't necessarily age. And like age is kind of like a physical world thing. Our souls gain experience and our souls gain like that wisdom piece through all the experiences that we have. And with the learning, some of us are really good and really quick with the learning, and other souls come back in and have to relearn things, from a different perspective or a different point of view. That learning does not necessarily mean somebody is a young soul. It just means that they're experiencing things a bit different. The one thing with the soul, though, that I want to just kind of want you to remember is, here in the physical world, we add choice and free will. So with the adding of choice and free will, that is part of the learning and part of the experience here in the physical world. When I tap into your energy, about, where on the experience scale you are. I feel like you have had several experiences, in this physical world and in other dimensions as well. I feel like you've had many experiences. So, I try not to lean too much with the old soul versus new soul thing, because quite often it's just the experiences that are happening. Sometimes a soul with a lot of experience can have a brand new lesson here in the physical world that that soul has never navigated through before, and they may feel like a young soul because it's a brand new experience. They don't have the wisdom or the knowledge on handling any kind of lesson that they're currently experiencing. So they will have often a younger feeling energetically to them, but it's more of a feeling of, this is the first time I've experienced this kind of lesson. So, with that, I don't necessarily wouldn't say that there's like an old or a young. It will be experiences. How many experiences have I had and what they have been? And when you think about it, let me put it to you this way. Let's simply say, I'll use myself as an example. Let's say I had 10 lifetimes where it was like easy street. Like, maybe I was royalty. I've never had to go without. Everything's always gone really smooth. I've always had money. Like, there's always been an easy lifetime for many, 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 many years. Then let's say I come here for this lifetime and it's like really hard. I'm faced with, with hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. And I may not have the experience in my soul or the wisdom in my soul to navigate through those hard times because I've never experienced, that kind of struggle in previous lifetimes. So that may give a feeling of, because I may not be able to navigate through it or may not have a deeper spiritual perspective, that may feel like I'm a young soul, but I may have had 10 really simple lifetimes. So you can see, how certain things may feel a certain way, but it will depend on the experience that that soul has gone through, and the healing work that they've done. That's another big piece, is the healing work that we have done, right? Great question, Alina, and thank you very much for posting that. Shaw, yesterday I had a whole journal about self-trust. For some reason, don't even if I technically tick off all checks on what I need to trust myself. So weird. And I think that, there may not be all the answers or all the tick boxes, but I think trust is something that we're always working on. All the time I'm faced with, am I going to trust this? And spirit will ask me, how much do you trust, all the time? That comes up for me all the time. There are moments where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. And spirit will be like, well, we're offering it to you. How much do you trust? And with the trust, it doesn't always mean that everything is going to work out smoothly. It means that I trusted enough to have the experience, take the lessons, and take the learning. When we trust something and it doesn't work out, it doesn't necessarily mean that we were wrong in trusting it. It means that those were the lessons that we had to go through, right? And that can be a hard one for many of us to kind of wrap our head around. Well, why do we have those difficult things? Why do we have to face those difficult challenges? Through that, and on the other side is the lesson that we needed to learn with it. Okay, good one. I'm already pre-tired for the weekend. Aaron, make sure you find some time to chill, and make sure you find some time to rest. I've got quite a busy weekend planned this weekend. It's mainly a lot of youth and softball. It's a softball weekend. And I'm excited, but it's going to be busy. Travis, happy Mother's Day to you as well. Thank you very much, darling. I'm pre-tired for life. Oh my God, you guys are funny. Funny, funny, funny. The energy update is resonating deeply, especially with working on Trust Bit. Happy early Mother's Day, Lana. Thank you very much for your validation on that. It's a big one, and I'm not gonna lie, with when the trust comes up, and it's been coming up all weekend or all week, sorry, and probably it's gonna trickle for the rest of this month. It's gonna come with challenges too. Trusting comes with challenges. And I always kind of lean back into, okay, I'm learning that. I'm learning. And sometimes that's all that I can do is kind of like give myself that shoulder shrug with, I'm learning. Um, does spirit have a specific message for life guidance for me today, or maybe an animal message? I'm really pulled you specifically a message from the animal communication book. But before I do that, I just want to really lean into with this whole worthiness. Worthiness has come up as I Oh, I lost my thing. Worthiness has come up a little bit with feeling that worthiness about yourself, to be able to really acknowledge that you are worth it. That is coming up big time for me. So let's see what the animal book is saying as well. Let me just see where I need to go. The dove, express your love to as many people as possible in words and in deeds, even in small yet significant ways. The soul of someone who has recently passed is making a smooth, peaceful transition. This is a powerful time of prophecy and clear vision, and now more than ever, you are able to glimpse the future. You're experiencing a spiritual renewal that has the result of a period of intense self examination and challenges. This is a good time to stay at home and enjoy your domestic side. It's important to nurture yourself with loving self care. Beautiful. Um, that's what she said. I've been having issues with odd things happening around my apartment. Lost 3 days worth of food when my crock pot fell. Did someone do this to me? I have an instant hard no. I really feel that crock pot incident was just a physical world thing. I feel like it has nothing to do with anything to do with the spirit world or anything to do with what you did. I get a hard no on that. So I hope that resonates there with you. Sometimes things happen and it has nothing to do with spirit. Absolutely nothing to do with spirit. Um, Kayla, beautiful analogy. I wish adults around me when I was a teenager would have done that. They always tried to walk in front of me, never beside me. Kayla, and I think that's a big one for many of us. And even as an adult, I really do really well with people walking beside me on my journey rather than pushing or trying to take over or trying to lead the way for me. I do really well with people beside me. And one of the things that I have navigated through with my own learning and my own experience, and this is supposed to happen. We're supposed to do a better than the generation behind us, right? Or we're supposed to learn from it all. So being able to be what I needed at different points of my life, not just in my childhood or teenage years, but even in my adult years, being the friend that I always needed, being whatever it is that I've always needed, being able to give that to people and taking from my learning, because that will kind of shift things. How we respond to teens today from our lessons on what we've learned and what we needed is going to help them be parent from a different perspective. And that's what's supposed to happen. Like, we're supposed to take these lessons and learn and cultivate better humans and better people and better learning and more support. um and I think I use that analogy with walking beside people when I'm faced with those difficult relationships or those difficult, challenging people. I'm just going to stand beside them and support. Sometimes it's just about showing up and wearing beige, just staying neutral. I'm just going to be neutral and here for them if they need to lean in on me. People need that the most. They just need the support. They don't always need fixing. And one thing that I've learned very, very early in my spiritual journey is we can get in the way. I think I've mentioned this before. We can get in the way of other people's learning, and they're going to have to repeat the lesson again anyway. If we go in with our little hammer and nail to fix everything for them, they're going to have to learn the lesson again anyway down the road. So we might as well just step in as a supporting block, as a helper, as be able to help them navigate, but letting them lead the way. Right. That is one of the greatest gifts you can do for friends, family, for your teens or anybody in your life. I'll walk beside you while you learn this lesson. And I think even for myself, when you think about yourself, it doesn't feel good when somebody tries to dominate you or take over or push you through your learning, right? It's even though their intentions are loving, it's still not overly helpful. All right, Laura, I'm currently not sure if my relationship with my spouse of 17 years should continue. Kind of in limbo if this will work out. Any insight from my guides? So, Laura, number one, I just want to say, and I know you know this, you always have choice and free will. I just have to get that out there. What they're showing me though is I feel like when you pinch a garden hose and the water can't flow, like when it's bent. I feel like I'd have to just straighten out the bend. And I feel like I feel like both of you have been growing in different directions, which is okay, but the garden hose is bent. And I think that if there's a willingness to straighten out the garden hose and let the energy flow and let the water flow, almost like a rekindling kind of energy is kind of how I feel. I feel like life just kind of disconnected or bent just from that separation, from that flow. And I feel though that not that you have to, but I feel if you can loosen the flow, and what I mean by that is kind of like getting to know each other again, kind of coming back to a space of fun and an energy. And if one of you isn't willing to do that, it's okay. I feel like the choice and free will is very much okay. And that spirit will never tell us what to do. They may show us, they may give us, they may give us guidance, but they'll never tell us what to do. I just feel like I've got to get things flowing again before an answer can be given, because I don't feel a full disconnect. It's like just a little bit of water trickling through that hose. And if I straighten it out, it flows quite fiercely. I hope that that makes sense there for you. Um, did I miss something here? I'm just gonna Sonia. I'm thinking about getting a new pet, a kitty. I'm not sure if it's a good idea. If I will be able to make my dog to accept her. Does Spirit have any advice? Um, so I feel a little bit apprehensive with giving you a yes on the good idea. I'm not feeling the time is right. I also don't feel that it's just about the dog. There's something else going on. Either you're not home enough, or there's just something going on there timeline. I feel like I'm missing the timeline right now for to add another pet. Do I feel that you can never add another pet? No, I don't feel that at all. But I feel that with that dog and accepting her, I feel like it's not the right time. There's something going on there with me, and it feels just a little bit staticky with the time. I need to wait, and perhaps you'll understand that, later on in the summer. Yeah, it really wasn't the right time. I feel like I've got to kind of say, just pause that for a bit and wait, and you'll understand that down the road as to why Spirit said to wait. Um, so I answered Laura's. Okay. Smash that like, guys. Thank you so much. You guys crack me up. Amanda, just the spirit have any messages for me today? Amanda, I have a very loving mother figure energy that just kind of came in. So, mom, like a mom or a grandmother energy that came come in, and she's come in with this. You are doing a good job, and I'm rooting for you. And I don't know if you have felt kind of I don't want to use the word lonely, because it doesn't quite feel like loneliness, but not 100% supported or appreciated, perhaps, is kind of like the feeling. I feel like I've just got to let you know that you are doing the best from where you're standing, and I've got to applaud you on that. I've got to acknowledge that, and I also have to get you to acknowledge yourself. I've got to kind of get you to treat yourself to something. I got to get you to, like, do something for you that comes from you. But I have to acknowledge that you're doing the best from where you're standing, and you always have. I hope that makes sense there. Uh, Kayla, that's why I don't hold grudges. We're all learning. We are all learning. And sometimes it's true. And sometimes people struggle with that learning. And sometimes they have to, hit the repeat button. We're gonna learn that again. We're gonna learn that again. And I know, and I think, it's a beautiful way to shift out of judgment when you kind of lean in there where they're learning some lessons that I don't understand. Right, it helps us lean out of judging people or criticizing people when we can just simply acknowledge that they're learning too, right? And they're also teaching people. People that are learning hard lessons are also teaching too. My birthday is tomorrow. Does the angels have any advice for me coming up this week? Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. With the angelics, when I lean in there, I really feel that I've got to start taking my time. Oh, I gotta skip something here. There we go. I feel like I've got to start taking my time. I don't know if you've been kind of rushing through things, or rushing to get things done, or just rushing through the lessons and the learning, or perhaps you just simply haven't had time to slow things down and kind of rest and retreat are the words that are coming to me. I just got to kind of, like, give yourself, even if it's an hour a day to be the hermit. I feel like I've just got to say, you know what, it's okay to sit on the corner of the couch with a cup of tea and just kind of be still, or just kind of sit there. I feel like I've got to slow it down just a little bit to give some more private time with you. I feel like there's just so many pieces that are always kind of going like this around you, and I feel like I just got to say, let them float for a bit and just sit and just kind of come in back to your own energy. I feel like you're out all the time energetically, and it's like give, 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 and I don't feel like I'm coming in enough to sit. And I feel like I just got, even if it's just like a couple deep breaths a day, I feel like I've got to come back and give yourself a gift. Give yourself a gift of the slower energy once in a while, and giving yourself the time and the energy you need to work on your, the healing pieces, and and the growth pieces and the learning pieces. I feel like I've just got to, and it's literally like I've got to pull the reins back on the horse that's running too fast. I literally had to do that. Just slow down to like a trot. And it doesn't have to be all the time. It can be a moment a day. You'd be surprised what a moment a day will do. Truly, one moment a day can really shift things energetically. All right. Um, sta- okay, standard. Physical mediumship real, the ability to move objects or create fire. Okay, so absolutely physical mediumship is real. And I mean, is it common that people can get to that space of being able to physically move things that way? But I also want you to tap into a little bit with the physical mediumship on being able to create opportunities. So, physical mediumship doesn't necessarily mean that I have to necessarily be able to focus on something to bend a spoon or make a fire or move things. But physical mediumship can also be used to create things, cultivate things, to be able to navigate through things. So for example, let's say I want to let me just kind of think of an idea here. It's been a while since I booked a group party. I'm going to create in my mind. I'm going to create that group party, and that feeling and that energy, and boom, I book a group books. It is a form of manifesting, and manifesting is in a lot of ways physical mediumship. So and I've also been able to. I myself have not been able to necessarily. I haven't really tried, though, to be honest with you. I haven't necessarily sat and tried to create fire, or to bend an item, or to do anything like that. But the physical mediumship part can also be looked at, when you're remote viewing. That a big part of that's physical mediumship. When we channel and we're feeling like I have a spirit here, and I can feel my lungs. That is also physical mediumship. I hope that answers your question there. I truly haven't necessarily tried to put my energy into bending things or making things into something else. Um I've never really tried it. It's never really even crossed my mind. Okay, where were we here? Okay, I read that, you guys. Travis, nothing specific today. Been listening to the book you recommended and focusing on daily meditations and attempted growth. Does spirit have anything to say for me today? Travis, when I kind of lean in there, I've got to just kind of whisper to you, you're doing a really good job. I feel though, Travis, that I have to put some more things down. That whether that be from your past, or I just feel like there's still quite a bit that you're holding on to. So I need to get you to practice that exercise that I've talked about here before on the channel. Write down something that you're carrying, or a situation you want to let go of, or a person that you want to let go of. Write it down in a heart shape, X and O it, put it in a purse or a bag, or a shopping bag, or even just in your hand, and walk around and literally let it go. Let it just drop it. And if you feel the need that you have to pick it back up, but walk around some more and drop it until you feel, within you energetically that you are ready and you are working on the letting go process. I feel like there's just a little bit more letting go, a little bit more of releasing. And you can simply just sit outside and just say, I'm ready to let go of ABC. I'm ready to let go of. I feel like there's still a little bit of clinging on there, and of energy or situations or person, or an experience. And I feel like I've got to say open and let go. That it's that surrender piece, I guess, is what I'm trying to get to. And I'm glad that you're enjoying that book. Well done. Trust goes beyond logical response. It's the messy biology, feelings, unpredictable side. Absolutely. And the other thing is too is sometimes trust requires us to be very vulnerable. Sometimes trust requires us to not have any answers. And that's the biggest thing. We want to know the outcome. We want to know the outcome before it happens. We want the guarantee that we're safe. We want the guarantee that it's going to work out. And trust, that ultimate level of trust, requires us to just leap into into the unknown, into the abyss we go, with that allowing. And and here's one thing that might help you guys. So I take everything to spirit. I take everything that, if I have to trust something, I will take it to spirit. And I always ask them for their help to help me navigate through it. I also ask for the feeling of should I or shouldn't I? I always ask for that. And I always ask them to help me to trust it, to help me to trust it. And that is a big thing. And I always pull in a lot of gratitude. Even when I'm picking myself up and dusting myself off from an experience that didn't go the way I expected it to, I'm grateful for my learning. Because if I didn't trust things, and think about all the timelines in your life where you trusted and it got you to where you needed to be. It's a stepping stone, the stepping stone analogy, right? I'm stepping across. And sometimes we kind of fall off. But if I think about, my own journey, if I wouldn't have trusted, I wouldn't be here living my best life and having an incredible time with spirit and the adventures and the learning and the journey. If I wouldn't have trusted and taken that leap of faith, I wouldn't be sitting here. And I can't imagine myself not here now. I can't imagine myself not honoring who I am. And that took a huge amount of trust to get here. So, when you look back at all the other things, just when you reflect on what you did trust and how it got you to better place or better situations, the learning process is what got you there, right? All right. um can you talk about hexes? All right, sorry, so do you mean like curses, Caleb? Is that what you're meaning by that? I have had many conversations with spirit on this, and if you're not open to receive anything, there's nothing energetically that can get you. And spirit's been very clear with that. I have had many sit downs with spirit, about energy and about people sending bad stuff. If you are not open to receive it, it's not coming. So, people can send me whatever they want, and I'm not open to receive it. I have this big shield, and it's always there, and it's nothing that anybody can do can get through that. It's all energy, and it's what you're open to receive. And if people don't wish me well, that karma's coming back to them. And I have got the utmost, so strong in that. My belief system in that is so strong. And, we've all had experiences where people didn't wish you well. Right. So, do I use a lot of protection energy? Yeah, but I surround myself with spirit. And do I only stand in the light and shine bright? Absolutely. And there's nothing that's going to dim it. Do I believe that anybody has any power over me? 100% BS. Nobody has power over you. The only person that has power over you is you. So, and I'm very, very strong in that. I am not open to any of that at all. A lot of that is old programming. A lot of that is crap. But if you open yourself up to energy, it's the opposite of being open to manifesting. It's the opposite of being open to great things, right? It's what you're open to. And I literally, if I have any concerns, I'll literally have an imaginary snowsuit that I'll step up and zip myself in. There is nothing that anybody can do that can overpower my energy or yours. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I hope that resonates there with you. And thanks for your question. Um, Trying to get to as many as I can here, you guys. I am going to have to watch the time soon, though. Show up and wear beige is one of my new favorite things. Yeah. And I'll tell you, Aaron, that saying helps me in so many situations. I'm just going to show up and wear beige. It's that neutral ground. I'm not engaging in any of it. I'm just going to show up and wear beige. I'm glad that you like that one too. Aaron or Kayla, I'm going to use that one too. Use that one. All of these little tips and all these little energy things that it does help you when you start using them. If you start zipping yourself up to not receive any energy, when you start kind of showing up and wearing beige, when you use the analogy and the visualization, I'm in my own lane, all of those tools, all of those things really do help. The trick is, and it's not a big trick, the trick is you've got to be in the habit of using them. You've got to use those tools. Sandra, sending your grandma healing energy, Maruna. Hi, Lana. I'm just gonna go back up. I missed that. I'm sorry, darling. My grandma just went into surgery an hour ago. Will she make it all right? She's 83. The surgery part feels good to me. I feel a little shaky on some of the recovery. I just feel like I've got to support her through some of the recovery. Um, I feel like getting back moving is a little bit of an issue. I feel like I need support with the recovery of the surgery. I also feel she's in really good hands. So I feel she's in really good hands. And I can see the hands from the angelics and from her loved ones up there around her. Recovery, I just have I have a little bit of she's just that feeling of support with, whether that be physio or getting her moving again. That's kind of where I feel like I've got to support. I feel like I've got to hold her up a little bit. Um, Jamie, good morning, Lana. One of my fur babies passed on Saturday. Oh, bless. I know he was scared. I miss him so much. Did he make it over the other side? Okay. Is he happy now? So, first of all, Jamie, 100%, all animals cross the rainbow bridge without issue. Um, Happy very much. I also feel um ready. And that's the best word I can give you is I feel like he was ready to go. And I feel that that fear was more of your fear that he was feeling. I feel like it was like your fear. Am I doing the right? Because animals are very empathic. Am I doing the right thing? And your fear, is it time? I feel like he was kind of like feeling your fear. I feel him very much okay. Very, very happy, very much peaceful, but very much here as well. I do feel him around you a lot, and it's that happy, bubbly, funny kind of energy that he's kind of surrounding you, and that's what he wants to keep you in, Jamie. I hope that helps you there. Um, I also feel I'm not done there, Jamie. Sorry, I have to back up. They wouldn't let me move forward, so I have to back up there. I also feel so much gratitude and love for the partnership and relationship that you had here. I feel such a deep, powerful connection, and I feel so grateful that it was the two of us. It was the two of us that had adventures. It was the two of us that healed together. It was the two of us. I feel so much gratitude, and I had to give you those words. Thank you for being my parent. It's such a loving, loving energy. Um, Shy, what do my cats think of each other? Yeah. And that's kind of how I felt. Do I feel like they like each other? Yes, I do. Do I feel like they love each other? Yeah, they do. But I also feel it's almost like a little bit. I don't want to quite use the word jealousy, but there's just a little bit of that friction of, oh, it's you. Like but in a almost like a sibling kind of way. You know how siblings, they do love each other, but they kind of like butt heads energetically. That's how it feels. But I also feel that there's just a little bit of a competition energy there too. But I do feel like they love each other. I do feel like they have a lot of fun with each other. I also feel they behave very differently when you're not watching. I feel when you're watching, the energy between them is very different from when you're not watching, and quite comical as well. Trust is more of an emotional thing than a logical one. Emotions are never logical. Um, Sometimes I'm going to challenge that. Well, it's not me, it's them. I'm going to challenge that. Sometimes our emotions do tell us something, though, too. So sometimes our emotions, I wouldn't use the word are never logical. Our emotions can be an indicator. Our emotions can be an indicator of what we need to work on, what we're feeling, what we're healing. So our emotions, we do have to process them and allow them and tap into them, because sometimes our emotions can be an indicator. Sometimes, and it's hard, and this is going to open up a whole big can of worms, I know, but I'm going to go there anyway. Sometimes our emotions, when we don't listen to our intuition, think about this just for a moment. If I'm going to shut down my intuition and not listen to it, the energy is not going to stop flowing and not going to stop trying to reach me. And it will often reach me through our emotions. So if I have to heal, let's say I want to heal, you got to heal that, Lana. If that comes up for me and and I don't listen, the emotion is going to grow, and the emotion is going to kind of come forward with, you've got to work on this, right? So our emotions are often indicators, and our emotions are not all bad either. Emotions can be, when you think about the emotion of profound gratitude, I can get so grateful where my knees wobble, and that's an emotion, the emotion of gratitude. And the emotion of unconditional love can be very overwhelming. Our emotions are also releases. So if you don't necessarily have a crisp, clean releasing process, or an emotional ceremony, I guess is the word I'm looking for. If we don't have those releasings, our emotions do build up. But I really don't feel that our emotions are necessarily a negative thing or a blocking thing or an illogical thing. Sometimes our emotions can be knee-jerk reactions that we have to process and pause from, 100%. But our emotions can also be indicators on where the work needs to be done. Whether it be the healing work, or whether it be experiences that we've had that we kind of have to work through. But I do listen to my emotions as well. Um, Sorry, my lost my spot again. There we go. Sorry. Horizon Phoenix, I have a pull to get roses and do the petals in the ocean for my son whose birthday. I love that. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Thanks for sharing that with us, Horizon Phoenix. I love that. Not gonna lie, once in a while I want to hold a grudge and just can't. Sometimes that holding that grudge, that's ego sometimes that peeks in, right? And the good old ego, right? Um, and good for you for not being able to lean in there in that energy. But yeah, sometimes we do feel that stubbornness or that ego kind of peek its way through. Uh, Amanda, yes, I haven't felt the support and appreciation from my husband I needed. We lost our home a year ago. You are definitely being loved and supported, Amanda. Aaron, just remember the expression, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And sometimes, here's the thing. Sometimes other people are also our teachers on what we want and what we don't want in our life. And even, I look back at some of the hardest moments that people have taught me. Some of the darkest, some of the, most hurtful. When I look back on that, I have a lot of gratitude for those people, because they taught me what I didn't want to be. They taught me what I needed to learn. It was also a vibration of who I needed to step back from and who I needed to move away from. It also taught me a lot about honoring myself. So, it also taught me that sometimes when we're not going in the path that we should be going, people will kind of push us back there. And sometimes, there's a reason in the season why people cross our paths and the lessons that they teach us. The other thing is I'm very much aware that sometimes we are the teacher to them. We are teaching them a different vibration. We are teaching them what's acceptable and not acceptable. We're teaching them boundaries. We're teaching them. So I always kind of lean into that. What am I learning from that difficult experience, from a difficult person? I always ask to see it deeper. And I always sit in it no matter how ticked off I am or no. And there have been times where I've said to spirit, why didn't you show me that I needed to step back? And spirit is always, we showed you here, we showed you here, we showed you here. You kept the blinders on. So sometimes, with all that and with the learning, I shift into a different energy with it. Thank you for teaching me that. I wish you well on your journey. Where you go. Right? So yeah. And sometimes we need to learn that lesson more than once. Um Right, you guys. Easy puff. Do you see my man and it's his own place? Do you see what my man and his own place is? We've both been so financially destroyed by certain people and trying to get to our feet. We need to get to a place so he can file for his rights to see his child. Um, so easy puff. I feel a big justice energy around. I do feel like you're going to get there. I do feel like there's going to be support, energetically support, but I do feel the path a little bit. I don't feel it right in front of me, but I do feel that we're going to get there. And the song that's playing in my head, and I'm not so happy together. I feel I can hear that, and I feel that no matter what you go through, and no matter what's been destroyed, that song's playing. So happy together. And I'm sorry for singing. I truly do deeply apologize, because I don't sing well, but I do many things well, but not sing. So I feel like I've got to kind of lean into that energy of navigating through it together, and you are going to get there. So happy to get. It's playing over and over on this loop. So there's got to be something to that. So have a listen to that song. Um, Morning, Lana. I booked an intuitive guidance session with you in a couple of weeks. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Is there anything I should prepare in advance? Thank you and have a good day. That is a really good question. So the one thing that I say to people when they're booking, when they ask this question about booking an appointment with me, open to receive and coming very wide open with what do I need to know. I also, with the intuitive guidance session questions, if there are direct questions you want to ask me, have them written down, because you would be surprised, number one, how fast and 1 hour session goes. And there are things that you may have thought, oh, I wish I would have wrote that down to ask Lana. Take some time between now and the session to just keep a little notebook of things that you want to ask. With the intuitive guidance sessions, I usually start with, I'm just going to sit here and channel from your spirit council. And a lot of what comes from your spirit council, 99% of it is usually on your page that you've written on. And so that's how I start. And then I open up the platform into different directions that we need to go in. So, but the biggest thing is just being energetically ready. So I always say to people, open to receive, open mind, open heart. You're always going to get what you need to hear from spirit. And as long as you come open, I'm just coming wide open. No expectations. I just wide open to receive. I'm really looking forward to meeting you. Um, Lana, stop triggering Frozen songs into my brain. Now I've got the unknown into my head. um, oh, there's PJ. Late to the live. Hope everyone has a great weekend. And if you're a mama, happy Mother's Day. I love that. And any form of mother, right? The word mother and the word father and the word friend, I mean, it has so many beautiful meanings to it, right? um you can be like a mom to someone and celebrate Mother's Day. Honor that. If you're a mom to children or to animals, or to your community, honor that. It's the divine mothering energy. Honor that energy. I also connect with mother. I do something special for the earth on Mother's Day too, because I really connect to Mother Earth. Whenever people like to curse me, they usually curse themselves. Absolutely. Energy boomerangs, 100%. I feel like a mirror a lot. Whatever you send me will reflect back with love. I always send it back with love, even if it didn't come at me in a loving way, with love. I always want to rise above the negative people or the negative thoughts. I always want to rise above it with love. Even if I have to say with love, the heck with you. I always add with love. I want to rise above it. All right. That is just so important. Back to you with love. With love, bless your heart. Um, hold on. A good reminder, this is from Sandra. A good reminder for me was that separating myself from others energetically is not selfish in a bad way. Heart, absolutely. It is not selfish to separate yourselves energetically. Absolutely not. And it comes down to sometimes just simple observe rather than absorb, right? Even in situations where I truly don't believe that you have to do anything, but if you're at a family gathering that you feel you need to attend, you can separate yourself energetically. I'm just gonna in my own lane spiritually, right? So it's not selfish to separate yourself. It's healing and honoring. It's healing and honoring, right? My aunt just messaged me to say it's good that my child quit the Marines because we are at war with Israel. Surround in love and light. Spring only love and light. And sometimes we may not always necessarily understand the reasons for things, but I also feel that if something doesn't unravel, like for example, Spring, there may be a very big reasons why he's not in the Marines, and a reason why a bigger reason than what you understand, and that's and that's just surrounding light. Whatever's meant for him on his journey is he's going to navigate through. Um, Now I wonder if my cats would prefer to move to Canada with me in the future or stay here. Seeing the stress it can cause them both. Relocating with animals, no matter what type of animal, is always going to cause a little bit of stress. But I don't feel like bad with that. I feel like they will adjust. I've seen cats, move. Countries all the time, and they do settle. They do have that settling feeling. I don't feel like they want to be parted from you. I really don't feel like they want to be parted. Kayla, thank you for confirming, Lana. I've heard people talk about it. I just wanted to learn more. I love your questions here, you guys. You can find, I know I haven't gotten to every single one, but I do try very hard, and I love your questions. And we all help each other. We all help each other navigate through that. A good reminder for me was that separating myself from others energetically is not selfish. Oh, I read that one. Sorry, Sandra. Let's make sure we share our thumbs up. Thank you very much, PJ. I appreciate that. I do appreciate the support, you guys. Um, Shy jealousy is so spot on. They're biologically not siblings, but they certainly act like it. Well, and they're together like siblings, right? Uh, Kayla, I really care about this celebrity, but she is bullied a lot. She gives back to her fan base, and I know she's breaking generational curses. I can feel it. Do you have any messages from Spirit about this? So with that bullied energy, I think that anybody who puts themselves out on social media needs to protect themselves from that. So I always protect my channel. I always protect my Facebook page. I protect my Instagram. I'm not as active on Instagram. I'm trying to get better, but I'm not. I always protect any venue that I'm working at energetically. And I'm not okay to receive it. And I feel that you don't have to receive or accept that energy. I also feel that people push back or bully when they don't understand it. When they don't understand it. I'm also not huge on the word. I'm going to say this lovingly, Kayla. Very lovingly because Spirit wants me to correct it. The generational curses. I need to correct that word. Okay, because I do believe in in the generational learning that because we do come here as soul families, so we have had many journeys with the same soul family, and that energy does trickle in through, but I feel it's more of the lessons, and I feel it's more of the timelines that they were in, and I think sometimes we're pulling and creating that. I truly do. I feel like we're almost, some people are looking for it, and if you go looking for it, you're creating an energy that you might not understand. I feel like this person is really trying to help people through that, but I feel like I need to add something, and I'm not sure who she is, and you don't have to tell me, but I feel like I've got to add something to the way she's going about it. I hope that helps. All right, you guys, I just took a peek at the clock. I've got to get moving, so let's do an angel number. We're almost at an hour. What do we need to know? 316. You are working with powerful ascended masters who are supporting your material needs. Trust and be open to receive their support, which is always available to you. So ascended masters being spirit, all things spirit, angels, guides, Buddha, Jesus, God, whatever your belief system is, those are the ascended masters. Um, Trust and be open to receiving their support, which is always available to you. I love that. And again, if you want to look that one up in an angel book, it's number 316. All right. I'm just going to, oh, my business cards are coming out here. Hold on. That was from the group session that I did last night. Let's just set the intention for the weekend. What do we need to know? The prairie dog. Oh, he's a cute. He's setting up like that. Get involved in your immediate community in some way through volunteer work or civic activity. The time for yourself. Take time for yourself, such as retreat, or a day of silence in order to recharge your batteries and get a fresh look at the situation at hand. Increase the amount of vegetables in your diet or try a vegetarian diet for a few days and note any differences that you feel. You've been pushing too hard in the situation and meeting resistance all the way. So step back from it and give it a rest so you can get a fresh perspective. Discernment is called for in the situation as to when to push forward and when to retreat. Very interesting. Take what resonates and leave the rest. We talked a lot about recharge. There's been a lot of messages today about taking some time. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day weekend. I hope that you enjoyed your time with me. It has been a glorious session here. Let me see. I should be here Monday, but let me just double check that unless something has popped up in my schedule that I don't know about. I will be here Monday for an energy update only. I do work early Monday morning. As always, I'm wishing you love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided weekend. Take good care, you guys.